Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar. It's right at noon. So we're really happy that you've joined us today for our BSHE program. We've got several students here today that are going to be available to answer your questions, and one of our advisors from the department will be leading the session. My name is Emily Lifemaker, and I'm the Associate Director of Recruitment and Student Life here. I just want to provide some logistics up at the top. Number one, we are recording this, so if you want to go back and rewatch this to get some additional information, or if you feel like you missed anything, we will have this up on our YouTube channel by early next week. It usually takes a couple of days for me to get them up there, but you'll be able to do that. And then we send once the link is live on the YouTube page, we send that out to all the students that are registered for this. So just look for that coming from me here in the next few days. You won't be able to see us. You'll just see the PowerPoint presentation that we have going on. You can hear us, but we can't hear you. If you have any questions, you can see up here in the right-hand corner of your screen where my cursor is. This is where you can type in your questions. Please feel free to do so throughout the presentation. We're going to go through the PowerPoint first, and then once that's over, we'll read each of your questions aloud and allow our panelists a chance to answer those. We will get through as many as we can in the hour we have allotted, and if we don't get to a question, we will be providing all of our contact information at the end, so we can be sure you can reach out to us directly to address all of your questions and concerns. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Megan to get started with the actual presentation.
Yeah. Hi all. So there we go. Talk about BSHE. So our mission in BSHE is to better the health of all people by advancing knowledge and training tomorrow's leaders, and how to change behavior and the social conditions that influence health. So a big part of what we do is training tomorrow's leaders, which we see as our MPH program. Talking a little bit about our research, I know a lot of you are interested in that. We divide our research up into 4 main areas, and those would be behavioral risk factor trajectories, the social determinants of health and health disparities, health education, behavioral interventions, and the dissemination and implementation of effective interventions, which we apply to several subject-based projects. And just to give you an idea of what some of those are, some big projects that are going on in the department right now: cancer prevention and control among the uninsured and the underinsured, mindfulness interventions, sexually transmitted infections, and HIV acquisition among high-risk populations in the U.S. and abroad, societal factors influencing early unplanned pregnancy. And you can see a full list of all our current research projects on the website. I really encourage you to look that over and see what faculty members are working on in the different opportunities here. So in BSHE, and our students will talk a lot about this, I'm sure, we're really big on our skills-based coursework, in that we train you in a lot of skills, so you'll be prepared, to tackle lots of different things when you leave here and join the workforce. Some of those major skills would be theories of behavioral and social influence on health, grant writing, community needs assessment, health education planning and implementation, program evaluation, survey design, and statistical methods. And we'll talk a little bit about what the curriculum, looks like semester by semester. But in terms of requirements, you're looking at 42 credit hours. What's really nice at Rollins is that we do have a flat rate tuition for full-time students. So while 42 is required for the degree, many of our students do go above and beyond that, because that is part of our tuition plan here. In 2 years, we're fall and spring. Summer's off. Lots of students will use the summer to work on their practicum, and then fall and spring again. So it is a 2-year program. And then you have the option of completing either the behavioral science or the health education track, and you can go ahead and complete both. That would be something that you're interested in. And I mentioned the practicum earlier. Practicum 200 to 400 hours in public health that are documented are required as part of the degree. Many of our students, and they'll talk a lot about this, have many different public health jobs while they're here, but we do need 200 hours, on file to meet the practicum requirement. Just to give you an idea, our students typically work, in addition to their full-time course load, 10 to 20 hours a week in public health in BSHE. And then we also have our thesis or a capstone requirement, which we say is our culminating experience. In BSHE, you have the choice of either or. So a thesis is a year-long project, and the capstone is a 1-semester project. Both are 4 credits, and both have a large paper and a presentation as the deliverable. So talking a little bit about the curriculum, you'll see here in the fall, you'll take statistical methods, as well as theory and behavioral sciences and health education and behavioral methods. In BC, you have the option to either take EPI 530, which is the EPI course that the students in the EPI department take, or the EPI 504, which is the 2-credit EPI. If you do take the EPI 530, it will be in the fall. If you take the EPI 504, it will be in the spring. In the spring, you'll also take quantitative analysis, whereas statistical methods is more SAS, quantitative analysis is more SPSS. And you'll also, depending on which track you are taking, or theory-driven research in behavioral sciences or principles of curriculum and instruction. And if you choose to complete both tracks, you would just take both courses. And we also do recommend at some point in your first year, whether it's the first or second semester, you do get in history of public health. So summer happens and you come back to school. Depending on which track you are, or if you're doing both, you'll have grant writing and or community needs assessment. And if you're doing a thesis, you would register for the 1-credit portion of the thesis in the fall, thesis mentorship. And then you'll notice that you'll have these, some of the other 500 courses that are part of the RSPH core, environmental health, health policy and management, and global health. Those classes are offered every semester, and we tell students to fit those in for when it works for them and their needs. And then you'll also note that we also require 5 electives of BC credits. And you would also fit those in depending on what class you're being offered, what your interests were, and when it worked best for your schedule. And then moving into your final spring, most students will save conduct evaluation until the last spring. And students are either completing their thesis or going into their capstone course. And some themes that we have along with our curriculum would be community partnerships. So for example, when you take a class like grant writing or community needs assessment, you're not only going to learn how to do those things, but you're also going to apply it to a community organization in the area that needs a community needs assessment or a grant. So it's really some real world learning. So we really are strong in our community partnerships within the classroom. And being in Atlanta, great access to public health opportunities, so unparalleled access being in Atlanta. And then we just strong mentorship, whether it's the faculty or our advisors or career services, showing you how you can apply these courses to your professional life. So usually we have lots of questions on the practicum and the culminating experience, and we talked a little bit about them both, but just some examples of where our students have gone for their practicum. Centers for Disease Control, we have students that will go into consulting, so we've had some students at Deloitte Consulting, the World Health Organization, Save the Children, so really quite the range of places that our students have gone on to complete the practicum requirement. And then to give you an idea of some projects our students have completed for the thesis as well as the capstone in there as well. For example, we have for a thesis anywhere from examining concussion awareness, perceptions and management practices in Georgia high school sports to comparing total fertility rates by education and ethnicity. And then in terms of the capstone, you'll see students completing anything from addressing cardiovascular health to urbanization and diabetes in India. So just lots of opportunities, especially in terms of the culminating experience. We do want to make sure that you have a product here that you leave with that brings it all together for you. And also a really nice option at Rollins is is that you can tailor your degree just even a little bit further beyond the department. We do have certificate programs which are school-wide. So if you wanted to tailor your electives in a way to pursue a certificate in either the socio-contextual determinants of health, mental health, or maternal and child health, you could definitely do that. And the school offers several more. Those top 3 really are just the most popular amongst the BC students, but we do have students that pursue other certificates as well. So it is a nice option. It's nothing you need to decide on, prior to coming to school here. It's definitely something you start once you're already a student. And for those of you who maybe have not applied yet or even are in the thick of it, we really are holistic in our admissions decisions, meaning we take everything into account when we're making a decision. Looking at transcripts, GRE scores, letters of recommendation, your experiences, your personal statement. So we really do look at all of those things when we do make a decision. And we are SOFIS application exclusive, and we are rolling admissions. And just some funding opportunities. You'll see we offer merit scholarship, mission-driven scholarship, financial aid awards, And then we also have the Rollins Earn and Learn Award, a Global Field Experience Award, and the Global Health Initiative Award, which our students have all been involved in. And I included links below for that, so I would definitely check out those opportunities and options. And then moving into Q&A, as Emily will talk a little bit about visit options, but if you are coming to Emory and you'd like to meet us in BSHE and there's not anything going on that day, definitely email us at bshe@rollins@emory.edu. We'd be happy to schedule a visit day for you.
Yeah, and for those of you that are admitted, we will be having our Visit Emory event, which is our 2-day admitted student event. You've probably already received multiple emails and invitations from us about that, but I'd highly recommend planning to attend that if you are able to do so. It's March 31st and April 1st. It's a Thursday and Friday at the end of this month. During that time, you'll be able to sit in on classes, take tours of the campus, visit a couple of apartment communities that are nearby to get an idea of what living here would be like. We offer a tour of the CDC Museum, which a lot of students take advantage of. There'll be a reception with our dean and faculty. Our student government hosts a social event for everybody, basically like a big happy hour on the Thursday of the event. Friday involves department meetings, so you get to meet more of the BSHE faculty and the advisors and hear more in depth about the curriculum and what your time here would look like over the 2 years. And then we also have a unique opportunity in the Research and Opportunities Fair, and that's where our professors and staff that are doing research projects and maybe looking for people to hire in the fall come out and really just kind of talk about what they're doing with that. And it's set up kind of like a graduate school fair where you get to visit the tables and talk with them about that. We also have our certificate programs that exhibit at that. And then during the student government event on Thursday, our student orgs all exhibit at that. So you'd be able to talk with them to learn more about the student life, which I think is very important. So there's a lot of ways to get involved during that time. Financial aid is here doing drop-in hours, so you don't even have to go over to the financial aid office. We bring them here to us. So I think it's a really important time to be able to come. We would never want finances to be a hurdle for you for that, so we do offer travel grants for the Visit Emory event. You can email, if you email the BSHE at Rollins, we can get you connected with that if that's something that you're interested in applying for. Additionally, to help offset cost, our student body is so amazing. They open up their homes to host prospective students during this event. So that would be another way to offset the cost for that. So between travel grant and staying with the current student, we hope that we can make it very affordable for you to come. We feel that it's that important. And to sign up to stay with the current student during Visit Emory, that is on the admitted student portal on the registration page of Visit Emory. So it should be pretty easy to find. But if you're having any issues, again, you can just email the bshe@rollins@emory.edu account.
Right. I'll just give one more final plug to Visit Emory. The BSHE department will be having a BSHE mixer specifically at lunch on Thursday. So that will be a really great chance to talk to some alumni as well as some faculty. All right, we're going to go ahead and have our wonderful students introduce themselves. They just say their name, what year they are in the program, and maybe why they chose Rollins.
Hello, I'm Averston Worthy. I'm a second-year BSHE student. Hailing from the great South Florida. I chose BSHE specifically because that is a major interest area of mine, but I found myself actually exploring other coursework, not only at Rollins, but also other schools here at Emory University. So please in no way let your specialty area or your area of interest limit your exploration while here at Rollins.
So my name is Lisa, and I'm originally from Ethiopia. And the reason why I chose Emory is because I didn't get the chance to go to Visit Emory, and I was on the fence of going to another school or going to Emory. And then once I came to visit, it was my first time going to visiting Atlanta, and I just loved it here. They have so many resources at Emory. Going back to what Averston said, you can do a lot, and it doesn't really limit you on whether you're under any department. They have a lot of resources, and the CDC is right there. A lot of students get the opportunity to work there, and in Atlanta, the Carter Center is here too. So if you want to do global work, even domestic work, there are a lot of public health organizations that are around Atlanta. So it was a key the location was key for me.
Hi everyone, my name is Aziza Mustafa. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and I did my undergrad in Syracuse, New York. I came straight out of undergrad and I chose Rollins because as a prospective student at the time when I was applying, they had offered to pay for my, the travel stipend helped me out a lot. And then when I was here, a student did offer housing to me, and I just thought that was so amazing. And I was just a prospective student. I was just like, wow, they're already supporting me, and I'm not even in school yet. And then when I visited, I felt so welcomed, and it's like an environment that I wanted to be in. And I couldn't decide between BSHE and Global Health. And if you can visit, I think it'll help you decide which department is right for you. And then once I got into the department, I didn't know if I wanted to do both tracks or not. And then you'll see the difference between the courses, like read the syllabus, the coursework, and then that'll help you decide. So I decided to do health education.
Okay, so we're going to open it up to questions. I'll open up our excuse me, our questions box and see what we already have, and feel free to go ahead and start typing in any that you may have. So to start off with, Genevieve is asking, when can we expect to hear if we've received a scholarship? So Genevieve, if you're meaning the merit-based scholarships, for those of you that got your application in by the January 5th priority deadline, you were automatically considered for those. However, the notification for those have already gone out. So we just notify the students that have been awarded those, as opposed to notifying everybody of their status one way or the other. So those have already gone out, but keep in mind that financial aid packaging is very different from scholarship awards. So our merit-based scholarship awards have gone out. Financial aid packaging, which will include any loans, federal loans that you're eligible for, as well as our need-based awards. So things like REAL, which is the Rollins Earn and Learn, and any other need-based grants and awards that we offer. That's all going to be part of the financial aid packaging, and that will happen mid to late March. It's plenty of time since our decision deadline is April 15th. It's still plenty of time to be able to make that decision if this is, if you're getting enough awards to be able to make the decision to come. All right, Rose is asking, are there any other scholarships beside merit-based? So we just talked about the Real Award, which is the most common and popular, and then there are several financial aid-based ones that if you filled out your FAFSA that you are eligible for. So for those of you that have not yet filled out your FAFSA, you should probably stop listening to this and go do it like right this minute, because the sooner you do it, the better. Many of our awards, while they may be financial aid-based or need-based, they also are based on the sooner you get your FAFSA in. So that's really important to do. So we have a new award that we're giving out this year called the Rollins Pathways Award, and that is $8,000 spread out over the 2 years that you're here. So basically a $4,000 award that is, again, based off FAFSA. So it's a mix of merit and need-based. So there's kind of a mix of that. And you've obviously got REAL and then a handful of other merit-based awards like Letty Pate Whitehead, Hinson Award, and some of those.
And I would just add in, those are just the Rollins and Emory-based opportunities. There are really a lot of outside-based opportunities you can search for. And a really great starting place is the ASPPH website. And to search for outside scholarships, that's a really great place to start.
Yes, that's a great point. And on our website, on the admitted student portal, for those of you that got it, for those of you that have been admitted, we have an extensive list of outside funding opportunities that you can apply for. So Irene is asking, what is a typical week like for a first-year student at Rollins? So I'm going to turn this over to our students because you guys are going to give the best answer to that.
Yeah, sure. This is Aberston, second year BSHE. For me, interestingly so, I wasn't as stressed out as I expected the experience would be. It's a really encouraging and supportive environment for individuals coming into a program who had not taken coursework for maybe 2 years or even more. We have individuals that have taken longer hiatus. For me, myself, I took a 2-year hiatus from academia and I just worked. And so coming into the program, I definitely appreciated the lack of bum rush of coursework, obligations, or anything like that. Specifically, it was extremely supportive in that I had the opportunity to do a search on job opportunities, an opportunity to do a search for coursework that I was interested in, and plan out my coursework trajectory from the next 2 years. So I think all in all, it definitely is not the most stressful experience as one would probably expect. But a typical week, Monday through Friday, if you choose all of your classes accordingly before you start the week, then it should go as normal as you did in your undergrad. But a lot of individuals, they utilize that first week as an opportunity to test out coursework and to see what they're interested in and to decide whether or not they want to drop a class or not. So I think you should probably think about that, and maybe use this opportunity to really hone in on the courses that you are interested in and reach out to those professors or even other students via the RSPH VSHE Facebook group to see and get a gauge on what those courses are like for individuals, so you can maybe make your decision accordingly. But overall, I think it's a pretty stress-free, supportive, and all-around great experience for the first week of classes.
And I would just add in, so now that you're in a second year and you're a little bit more seasoned, are you finding it are you able to work and do your classes? Or?
Yeah. After understanding what it takes to survive in a 2-year graduate degree program, because it does pick up, I will not fail to say that. It definitely does pick up for a student because it is a graduate degree program, and I expect that anywhere at any institution in any program. But I will say as a second year, having that experience in my first year, I'm able to navigate through this experience a lot better because now that I know what's expected of me when it comes to Rollins or just the MPH program, I'm better able to identify what my strengths and weaknesses are, identify what my max point when it comes to dedication and hours of the week that I can commit to work or school, and also maintain mental health and self-care. So I think as a second year, having that first year experience was extremely beneficial, and as a second year, I can also definitely provide the advice that first year is pinnacle in deciding how to move forward when it comes to classes and work.
Anyone else want to talk about what their week looks like?
So I originally, when I was planning on coming here, I was kind of scared because I went straight from undergrad. So I thought, okay, this is a professional school, so I'll be surrounded by people who are, because I didn't, like what Averson said, I didn't have like a public health course. I didn't take a public health course before, but I think the first semester did a really good job. First semester. All the classes we took was kind of intro courses to public health, so you learned more about EPI. I think we took 2 VSHE intro courses, biostats, so you kind of get a holistic view of public health. So that was a good introduction. So the first semester was good in terms of giving you an idea of what public health looks like from the perspective of each department. And then, and then the orientation was really helpful for me in terms of, I was very overwhelmed before I came here or moved officially, but orientation, they give you a lot of resources and a lot of kind of like an introduction of how what Emory looks like or Rollins specifically looks like. So, and then you get a chance to talk to people that are, there were so many mixers during orientation. So we had like Rollins based events and then we had VSHE specific events. So that gave you an idea of what other people in the programs are interested in, and you develop friendships. Some of the people that I met during orientation, I still talk to, and they're friends.
I'm a first year student, and when I moved here in August, it was really hot, first of all, get ready for that. But orientation is so fun. Like, I had the time of my life. Like, I made so many friends. Rollins is amazing. Their orientation, it's an experience. You can't even explain it.
Yeah.
The feeling that I get right now, just thinking about it, is amazing. And then when school started, because I studied public health in undergrad, so the first month of school was not easy, but I was kind of like, I kind of get this. And also I didn't have a job the first month of school because I was applying, you know. A lot of first years, many of us don't have jobs the first month of school when we're applying.
And that's normal.
And that's so normal. Don't feel overwhelmed, you know.
Yeah. Don't freak out when you hear people saying like, oh, I landed my job. Like, that's fine. Great for them.
Yeah, it was so stressful. Like everybody was getting a job except me. I didn't even start till like October. So I was chilling the first month. Like I was just going to class, going home. I had already saved up money before I came, so I was exploring Atlanta. I had an awesome first semester. And then once I started my job, that's when it got really hard. Make sure you balance. You gotta have time management because it can get really hard. Rollins is fun. Atlanta is fun. Like I'm never bored. I'm always doing something. Like it's really fun to be here. Like sometimes I don't even feel like I'm in school because I love what I'm learning so much that I'm just like, yo, this is just every day for me. Like I don't even feel like I'm in class sometimes. So,
yeah, great. And like Aziza said, a lot of students actually won't start working until October 1st. Because if you're working for the federal government, specifically the CDC, that is the earliest that you can start because of their fiscal calendar, how that's all set up. So don't freak out over that. Don't think you have to come here starting with the job. Okay, so let's scroll up. We got a lot of questions here, which is great. All right, Savannah is asking, is it too late to apply for travel grant to the Visit Emory program? No, not at all. Like I said, if you want to email the account that's listed here on this last slide that you can see, the BC Rollins at Emory, we'll get you connected with the way to apply for that. Genevieve is asking, what type of placements are there for the Rollins Earn and Learn, and how much flexibility do students have to get involved in Earn and Learn work that is relevant to their interest area? Well, Genevieve, first of all, it's not a placement program, so we like to make that very clear. It is it's something you do have to apply for. So if you get the Rollins Earn and Learn Award as part of your financial aid package, you are then eligible to apply for those specific real jobs once you get access to the job board in early August. From there, you'll have to apply just like any other job, submit resume, cover letter, and interview. We encourage students to apply for multiple real jobs. Don't just find that one that you think is perfect. So in terms of flexibility to work in your relevant area, it is there because you get to pick what you apply for. But again, don't just get so fixated on, I only want to work at the CDC. I only want to work at the American Cancer Society. I only want to do work that's involved with X, Y, and Z. We really encourage students to kind of spread that out and apply to multiple things because you never know. It could be a gateway into something that you never knew you were interested in, and now this is the only thing you want to continue to go on and do. So,
does anyone want to talk about where they've worked while they've been at Rollins?
So I was one of those overzealous, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed students coming in, freaking out about not having a job opportunity. And so when I got accepted, which was relatively late compared to a lot of other students, I immediately started the job search process from afar. So I did have an opportunity coming in. I worked for a psychiatrist doing like alcoholism and the effects of such on individuals. And so it was an opportunity to really like get my foot wet, if you will, regards to public health and implications from like alcoholism. So that was my experience coming in. And soon after, I picked up another opportunity with the library at main campus. And that came from experience in undergrad. And so it was completely obviously unrelated. And at that point, I was also freaking out because I was like, I have to have public health job work experience. And immediately after that, that's when it started rolling in. And so I would definitely say my real like public health exposure with regards to work and putting in the hours for that and retaining skills immediately related to public health came my second semester. And so if you're freaking out about not having an opportunity in September through December, it's completely fine. And it worked out. And I have a job now, and I can say that I have a job offer for immediately after. And so like going in, I guess I can say as a testament that thinking about that experience and thinking about me freaking out, it's really not necessary. And it's something that you really have to just take slow and be careful about getting yourself into opportunities that you may not love because you're freaking out. With regards to Real, I was provided that opportunity. And I did not take advantage of it. I found other opportunities that weren't necessarily real, and so I would also challenge individuals to not silo themselves to opportunities that are only real, because you may not find something of interest in that. And so by no means limit yourself to only real opportunities. And if you let the manager of the Real Award, it's still so hard. If you let her know in a timely manner that you will not be taking advantage of the opportunity, then you should be good with regards to that. And that's what I did. I let her know. I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be utilizing this award because those funds could go to another student. And so that's what I did. I let her know that I had other opportunities that weren't real opportunities, and I moved forward from that. So that was my experience, and right now I'm managing like 3 different opportunities, which is absolutely insane. I do not support doing that, but I will say that it's worked out for me in the best way.
And where will you be working?
I will be working for a major consulting firm. As a BSHE student, it's definitely not the most common thing, but I say that as encouragement that despite my specialty area, it's certainly not limiting with regards to opportunities to come after. A lot of individuals think that BSHE is, on the ground. That's all we do. We educate and da-da-da-da-da, which is something that I am definitely passionate about. And that's been my work experience prior to Rollins and something I'm still passionate about. And I think it's extremely related to the work that we'll be doing in regards to building the social skills and navigating through social environments, da-da-da-da-da. But I think that in terms of future opportunities, it's about the skill set. It's about the emotional intelligence. It's about the utilizing your skill sets to your benefit when you need it most. That's most important, and not the hardcore skills that you gain.
Okay, so we're getting a resounding approval from the chorus here. Let's see, Leah is asking, I'm an AmeriCorps alumna, and I know that you have an award for alumni of AmeriCorps. If I haven't been notified of this award, should I contact someone to inquire about it? That'll be part of your financial aid packaging, Leah. You'll see that award in there. It's a $6,000 matching award. So you'll see that once you get packaged for financial aid. It'll be in your Opus account. Ross Mary is asking, since international students are not available for financial aid, what other financial resources and scholarships are available? So on our admitted student portal, Rosemary, we have a long list of external awards that we suggest international students apply for. The REAL program, which we have, even though you do have to fill out FAFSA to be eligible for that, our international students can be eligible for that in their second semester here. So it's just an internal form that you would fill out here once you're a student to apply to get those awards for your second, third, and fourth semester. So we do try to provide that for them. It's just not a first semester award.
I would also add to that there are other opportunities that you can, actually Averson also said this, but coming in you might not get like the ideal job that you want, like when you're coming in, but then there are a lot of like non-real jobs too. If you don't get real, or if you end up not getting real, or like if the real jobs don't work for you, there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, you can do teaching assistant jobs to get to make ends meet, and you can also, I mean, my job right now is not real associated, but
So what are you doing right now?
So I am an evaluation research assistant for Emory School of Medicine, and there's definitely a lot of opportunities. Emory is such a big university that you can, even though you don't get real, or you can still keep moving and keep applying, and don't lose hope.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I'd also add that the award opportunities, the external award opportunities that Emory discusses in the resources, and also like the ASPPH website, just remember that like if you don't have the opportunity to apply to those opportunities your first year, you still have another year to apply. And so a lot of individuals feel at a loss because it is relatively late in the game with regards to some of the opportunities to apply to those scholarships. And so you give up for the entire 2-year program, but remember that when your first year hits, still think about that they are fair opportunities to apply to support your degree program in your second year.
Okay, Rose is asking about class times. What is the typical start time for classes? Are they morning, afternoon, evening? I'd say yes to all the above, but if you guys want to kind of give some more insight.
It ranges, and it's not even departmental dependent, because I've had BC classes that ran early, extremely early, and ran late, and then I've also taken inter-college coursework, so I've taken courses at the law school, business school, and those range as well. And so I think it's how you structure your schedule for the needs of yourself, balancing with, your work and self-care again, and being able to do your homework. I think for me, I really did my best to maintain a 9 to 5 sort of schedule, so I can get in that mindset before actually working. But it's not unfamiliar for individuals to actually have classes Tuesday through Thursday and have no classes on Mondays and Fridays. I've seen that as well. Or have the majority of their classes at the beginning of the week and have no classes so they can work for the remainder of the week. So it varies. And then there's also I would say non-normative classes, like you have spring break coursework, you have winter classes, you have weekend classes. If you're looking to retain a quick skill, me and Lisa did the Epi Info class one weekend. It happens during the spring semester, and it was a hardcore 9 to 5, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we loved it. I love that experience. It's a cool skill set to retain as a BC student because it's not common. So it really varies, and it depends on your need.
And I would just add that those spring break classes, those winter classes, for a BC student, none would be required for the degree, but you're definitely more than welcome to add those things on, as you see fit for your skill set needs.
All right, Rosemary's asking, would getting a certificate add to the 2-year completion plan?
No, so the requirement is that it has to work within your degree program. So no, when that time, it's just how you would structure it, and you can always work with your advisor, whoever that is, whether it's Zari or I. You can always work with your advisor if you have concerns about fitting those requirements in along with your coursework, and we can usually structure it in a way that you leave feeling a little bit better.
And Rosemary's got a handful of questions coming up. Next one is, how often does the selection committee meet? So it sounds like you're asking about the admissions committee, I would think, Rosemary. Really, it's an ongoing thing.
Yes, it's an ongoing thing. If you haven't heard, and it's been several weeks since your application has been approved by SOFUS, definitely feel free to shoot that bc@rollins email, and we will look into it for you.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it can take up to 6 weeks for the total process. From the time you submit your application to SOFUS to the time you hear your admissions decision, it could be about 6 weeks, especially in high volume times.
Mine was actually, I can attest that Rollins is pretty good about that, because again, I was in an abnormal situation. I applied in February, and I was notified in March, and it was a very interesting experience, but obviously it was the best experience. And so yeah, it's definitely, Rollins is very real about holding true to that.
Yeah, we try to get those decisions out as quickly as possible, but in high application times as we are right now, it could take up to that full 6 weeks. Rosemary is asking, when would be the best time to contact a professor if you're interested in working with them? Anytime.
Yeah. I started as soon as I found out.
Yeah.
And they were all receptive.
Yeah, they're so nice here, the professors. I feel so comfortable around them. You see them in the hallways walking around, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" They remember your names. They're so sweet.
And I would just add that in addition to Zari and I, who serve as the academic advisors in the department, you'd also have a faculty mentor that we try to match you with based on your interest. And we just really see that as a starting point. You can really talk to anyone. We just want to give you someone to start that conversation with when you first get here.
And that kind of jumping ahead in the line of questions, Shiza is asking specifically about if the students could speak to their relationships and experiences with your BC advisors and mentors. So I think this would be a good time to address that if you guys want to talk about that.
So I love the BC advisors. They're always open. Their doors are open to talking to you, whether it's about coursework, the job world, where I'm a second year, so I'm still, whether you're stressed, whether you have family problems going on, they're really open to talking to you about it, and they're really nice. So I think it's one of the best aspects of Rollins is, in undergrad I had a faculty advisor. But I didn't have someone there to talk to me about, I didn't really talk to my professor about my personal life and how that would affect my, because that might affect your coursework. And I didn't have that opportunity, but Rollins, your student advisors are there for students, whether you're going through whether you're going through life challenges or just, anything. Honestly, I've talked to Zari and Megan about a lot of things, but there's not really a limit. So there's a lot of support in there. My faculty mentor, I really haven't talked to my faculty mentor in a while.
But as you went through Rollins, was there a faculty member that you've connected with? And
Oh, yes. My boss for my job, she's great. All the professors are great and open to talking to you. They're all doing research, and they have so many opportunities. If you want to talk to them about their projects, they're really open because they're really passionate about what they do. That, coming and talking to them even after class about their personal work has been, has opened several opportunities for some people that I know of. So in terms of the environmental support, faculty and the student advisors are there for you no matter what. And yeah.
I love the ADOPS and Vichy for sure.
Yeah.
Every time we have departmental meetings, Zari and Megan are always like, you guys will graduate in 2 years. We believe in you. We have a very high graduation rate. And I love hearing that. It motivates me. It inspires me. And I'm just like, these people believe in me sometimes more than I believe in myself. So that's really nice to have. With my faculty mentor, I didn't really connect much with her, but I was in the Clarkston program, and the professor that's in charge of that, or the instructor that's in charge of that program, I'm actually going to have lunch with her right after this seminar. So people are really relatable here. I feel like they're my friends. They're here for me to help me succeed academically, socially. They're really there for you. So it's a unique experience here.
No shortage of support.
Yeah. Definitely.
Can't say that very well. All right, Rosemary's asking, when does orientation take place? So orientation, for those of you that are admitted and will actually be enrolling in the program, that is the week basically before classes. So it'll start on Wednesday, August 17th, because classes start a week from that day, and it'll be that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday. So there's no weekend event over orientation, but it is 5 days, but it's 5 awesome days.
Yes, have fun, enjoy yourself, meet new people, don't be shy, just put yourself out there.
And everybody's in the same boat. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about this program is that while there are a handful of students that are coming here from Emory undergrad, that's certainly the minority. I mean, you may have 2 or 3 that may come in already knowing each other, but outside of that, it's 530 people that have moved across country and settled down in Atlanta and don't know anybody. So there is certainly an eagerness to make friends and to connect with people. Anika or Annika, my apologies if I'm butchering your name, is asking, is it easy to switch between different programs within Rollins? For example, what if later I decide I was more interested in global health or health policy management?
I would say it's just definitely a question of it depends. So it would truly depend on at what point you were in the program, what your academic background and your professional background was. But if you're at that point right now, you should definitely, reach out to the advisors. But it is such a quick 2 years that some students have had success, some students have found it to be more difficult, and the answer truly is it depends.
Mm-hmm. You'll hear that a lot. It depends. I find it depends is my answer to a lot of questions here, but I think that just speaks to the level of customizability. Mm-hmm. We'll make that a word.
Right. And
customization.
I would also add that if you find that, and BSHE is your department and you're really enjoying the skills that you're getting in BSHE, but maybe you want to take, a finance class in HPM, or you want to take an EPI class, because of the tuition structure at Rollins, it is something that often our students will pursue. Mm-hmm. So I've had several students who have taken several EPI electives in addition to maybe like Aberston did, also take a class at the law school and the business school, because the Emory philosophy is that once you are a student of Emory, you're just not a student of the School of Public Health, you're a student of Emory. So as long as there's space available in those classes and those prospective students in those schools have registered, you can take courses outside and really customize your degree.
Yeah. All right, Irene's got a couple of questions. First one is if it's possible to take classes over the summer, and then she's asking about the how many hours students are working for the real jobs. So in terms of classes over the summer, not so much, Irene. Most of our students are utilizing the summer to do their practicum or internship requirement.
Right. And so in BC we have that traditional 4 semesters. So anything beyond that 4-semester commitment would be additional, at least financial wise.
Mm-hmm. And then to address your real job question, usually that's in the 10 to 15 hours.
I know one person that works 25 hours.
That's unusual.
But that's different for her. It just depends on what your schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zari and I recommend 14 to 15 credit hours in the first semester and 10 to 20 hours of work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your primary focus is school. Savannah is asking, what is the timing like for applying to graduate housing? Do most students live in grad student housing or other housing? So Emory doesn't have any graduate student or family housing. So our students are living off campus in, homes that maybe they're renting or apartment complexes. The closest thing we have to graduate student housing is called Campus Crossing, and that is a apartment community that, while not tied to Emory, exclusively rents to Emory graduate students. So we have a lot of students that like to live there. And another benefit of it is, one, that it's furnished. So especially for international students or students that may be coming right out of undergrad and don't have a lot of furniture or things like that, or moving across country and don't want to bring a lot of things, it works out great. Additionally, it's you pay for the rent by the bedroom. So if you're in like a 4-bedroom unit apartment and one of your roommates pieces out, you're not responsible for their rent. Now the apartment complex will probably try to get someone moved in there relatively quickly. But I think a lot of students take a lot of solace in knowing that they're just responsible for their, whatever it is, $600 a month or whatever it breaks down to. And Aziza lives there. Do you have any other insights on Campus Crossing?
I love Campus Crossing. You just got to know how you are as a person. I'm very lazy and I love convenience. I didn't want to buy furniture. I didn't want to deal with the hassle of signing a lease with somebody I didn't know. I'd rather just take care of my own rent. I love it. The Cliff Shuttle?
The Cliff Shuttle.
The Cliff Shuttle is right in front of the apartment complex, so I can just take the bus to school. It drops me off right in front of Rollins. So I'm the kind of person that loves convenience, and if you are too, Campus Crossing is the place. Mm-hmm. But if you don't like Campus Crossing, there are so many wonderful places to live. Just plan accordingly for traffic.
Yes. And in terms of timing on that, Saviana, when the students are usually signing their leases, I would say early summer. Most of the students aren't moving here until August. Yeah. Usually signing the lease for August 1 and then coming during then and having a couple of weeks to get settled before orientation and classes start. We have some students that may want to come early, and that's fine too. But usually, since Atlanta's not a college town, for any of you that are coming directly from a college town, usually this is about when pre-leasing starts for the next fall. Don't be stressed out right now. Really, it's an early to midsummer thing.
For Campus Crossings, apply now.
Yes, that is a good point.
I would also, if you decide to come to Emory, there are a lot of Facebook posts that come when people are looking for roommates, and maybe one person found a place and they need 5 people to fill in like all the other rooms. But I'll keep track of that because I still see it. Like yesterday, someone put a post about like looking for somebody. So.
Yeah. So for those of you that are admitted, on the admitted student portal, we have a link to our class of 2018 Facebook group. So for those of you that are newly admitted, you can join that. Students are already in there making posts. And then in that same group, there's a link to the RSPH roommates group, which that's just a big group of students who are always looking, hey, I found this new apartment. I need a roommate, just like Lisa was saying. And also on the admitted student portal, we have our housing guide from 2015, and we're currently finalizing our 2016 housing guide, which if you come to visit Emory, you'll get a printed version of. But once we get that finalized, the PDF of that will be on the admitted student portal as well. And that highlights several apartments that our students live in, kind of gives a breakdown of percentage of what students are paying in rent to kind of give you a general idea of that. Rose is asking, can we talk about the difference between completing both tracks versus just the health education? Also, if thesis and capstone are required if you choose both tracks.
I would say, so the difference is those 2 classes. That is the only difference between the tracks and the skill sets you would learn in each of those 2 classes. So if you do choose to complete both tracks, then your elective requirement kind of goes away because those 6 credits would cover your 5 elective credits. So it's really a decision you can make, once you become a student here. Actually, it's not even a decision you make until you register for your spring coursework. And Zaria and I hold group advising as well as individual student advising, so we'll talk through all of that, but really the differences are those 2 courses. And then in terms of capstone versus thesis, regardless of what track you are, you have the option of either capstone or thesis. And like advising for every semester, we'll also have a session on thesis versus capstone, in addition to individual appointments if you were interested in that. And when we have those larger sessions, we'll always have faculty who do both capstone versus thesis, as well as students who've done doing capstone or thesis come and speak to those different options.
Lee is asking, to the people who found work outside of Real, how did you find out about those job opportunities? Were you still connected through Emory directly or indirectly through Emory connections or on your own?
Both. You get emails all the time, like, hi, Professor so-and-so needs a research assistant. This, I don't know, Emory Medical Center or something, anything, they need somebody, like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess it largely is your Emory connection.
Yeah, and even on the ROL, which is the Rollins Opportunities link, which is our job board, they post non-real jobs on there.
So how I found my job is, again, like Emory is such a supportive environment, like the professors are very supportive. I talked to my professor about, because I was interested in the project she was working in, and I just asked her, like, hey, like, do you have any available positions? And she made the position for me, I think. So that, I mean, just talking to your professors about your interests is key, because even if they don't know, if they don't have positions under their own research project, they can like refer someone to you. So that's basically how
it's very easy. Like, just check your email every day. Something always goes out.
Yes.
All right. Rose is asking about the global field experience. She's saying, can you speak about the global field experience and if any of the students who participated? I was looking through past field experiences and it seemed as most of the students who participated were global health or EPI. Is it uncommon for BC students to participate?
Yeah, we actually, and Lisa actually did a global field experience, but just briefly, we have several BC students who will do global field experience as well as the global health initiative projects as well. And also, we do have several students who may go out of country during the summer to complete a practicum that's not through either of those 2 programs. But Lisa can talk a little bit about the Global Field Experience program.
Yeah, so I thought it was uncommon that BC students did global, get the Jiffy program, but no, you can, whether you're BC or any other department, you can do your practicum through Jiffy. So I found, going back to what was said before, I found the opportunity because they sent an email out, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm interested in. And I told them, I sent them my CV, and they just said, okay, like, let's do this.
And
so
what did you do?
So I developed a water, sanitation, and hygiene curriculum for an agricultural microfinance intervention that was trying to improve nutrition outcomes in Ethiopia. So there's always, don't limit yourself, even if there are always opportunities that you, what was I trying to say? But there are always opportunities that just because you're BC doesn't mean that you cannot get involved in global health programs. BC is just not domestic. But you can also, there are a lot of professors that actually do projects that are both in BC and in global health. So you can talk to them about it if you have an interest. But, so they do a lot of, I mean, BC projects have GH projects have a lot of BC components that you can get involved with. So it's definitely not excluded.
Yeah, I would definitely say BC is definitely a skill set that you can apply to multiple, different areas, which our students have done. So when you're thinking about Jiffy and the GHI projects, those are Emory funding mechanisms. And then we do have students who may go and do their own thing, so lots of different opportunities. If you want to, go out of country for your practicum in the summer, it's very likely that you'll be able to do so.
All right, Megan is asking about advice from our current student. She says, now having your experience at Rollins, What is your one piece of advice that you would give yourself as a new student?
I think in terms of choosing coursework, so your first semester, it's kind of generic, like you take all the requirement courses, but then your second semester, just make sure you know, because they offer so many courses that are interesting, just think about what courses you want to take, because I feel like looking back, there are a lot of courses that I would have liked to take that I wish I took. So go to the course schedules and don't limit yourself only to like BSHE. You can look at other departments, and I feel like that's what I would have liked. I would have taken more classes. Look at the course schedule, and I think also it's okay to be stressed, and like it's okay to go by your own pace. If someone finds a job coming in before you, it's okay. You have 2 years, and there's so many opportunities. There are more opportunities for people, there are more opportunities than students here. Yeah, thank you. So just be okay with going by your own pace. Now I'm okay with it, but just stop comparing yourself to others, and you can be your best you, and it's okay.
I have the same advice as well. I've only been here for a semester. If I could talk to me last semester, I would say don't be so hard on yourself. I found myself constantly comparing myself to other people, and you just gotta say I'm me and I'm doing my thing, and just be at your own pace. Everything that you want will come into place. It'll take time, so just do what's best for you and what you're comfortable with.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Don't be. If you're interested in a project, go talk to the professor. Just don't be afraid.
Caitlin's asking about if registering for classes is difficult. Are there any issues to get into classes?
No.
I mean, it depends.
Oh.
I would say for electives, I would say the great thing about Rollins is you will get everything you need to graduate in 2 years.
Yeah.
Even if we have to make space in the class, you will never be in a situation where you are like, I need to take this class to graduate this spring and it's full.
That's not
That never happens at Rollins. That's just not the Rollins way.
Yeah. But electives,
electives,
or if you're looking to take a class like at the law school or something,
right.
They open those classes up to us once all of their students have gotten a space.
Right.
Also, I've found one class I couldn't get into, and I just emailed the professor, and she was like, okay, of course.
Yeah. Shiza is asking if you have to have a clear idea of your thesis topic coming in, and what's a good timeline for developing or working on it.
So you don't have to have an idea of your thesis topic coming in, and the great thing is that Zari and I will tell you when you need to start working on your thesis. You do actually have to let us know by April 15th of your first year who your committee is, what your thesis topic is, and then we give rough guidelines of the timeline, just to give you an idea of where you should be at certain points in the process. However, that would be between you and your thesis chair ultimately to keep you on track. But you do have to let us know by April 15th of your first year all of your thesis information, and if you don't, then you will be doing the capstone course.
Yes. Rose is asking about the Visit Emory attire. She says, what would you say the 2-day Visit Emory event is? More formal atmosphere, like business cards and resumes and professional attire, or more laid back? I would certainly say it's more laid back. Really, there's no need to bring your resumes for that. It's just a time. We don't want you to be overwhelmed. You're going to be overwhelmed, but we just want you to be able to come in and absorb what we have to offer. So, obviously don't come in pajama pants, but, jeans and a nice top are absolutely fine for Visit Emory. And Genevieve is asking about if we have to have your enrollment deposit submitted to go to orientation. So yes, you would, because orientation is the week before classes start. So your deposit is really due April 15th. I just want to make sure there's no confusion between the events of orientation and Visit Emory. So Visit Emory is the 2-day admitted student event that is at the end of this month. That is for admitted students to come, visit the campus, see if it's something that they're interested in. And you do not have to have your deposit in by then. The deposit deadline is April 15th. Orientation is our 5-day event, which is the week before classes, and it's to kind of get students all on the same page before classes start and to make sure they know everything they need to know before coming in. So let's see, Viviana, you're asking about the difference between thesis and capstone. That was covered in this presentation, and we are wrapping up. We have 1 minute left, and we want to get through all these questions, and we have people waiting to get into this room afterwards. So you can go back and rewatch that during this, because there's several slides that cover the thesis and capstone.
There's also information online as well.
Yeah, and information online about that. Admission rate for BSHE?
Because we are rolling, I don't have our specific admission rate, but I can share that our typical cohort is about 90 to 100 students in each year, so around 180 to 200 students overall.
All right, Caitlin is asking, does the enrollment deposit being in effect getting a need-based financial aid award? No, enrollment deposit is due April 15th, and financial aid packaging starts in mid-March, so you're good to go. And our last question is from Rose about signing up to stay with the student. You'll hear back from that. It usually takes about a week for that to get back. So with that, guys, we have to sign off. We have people coming into our room because we only have this till 1. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks to our student panelists. We really appreciate it. And we'll have this up on the YouTube page in about 3 to 5 business days.